Minnesota Vikings rookie camp took place Friday and Saturday. Yours truly in attendance Friday. And after rookie camp, we had several speak to the assembled media. And JJ McCarthy, rookie quarterback from Michigan, after a topsy-turvy, windy Friday in Eagan, Minnesota, started his presser like this.
Hello, everyone. Obviously, great to see you all. Very, excited to be back after this whole pre-draft process and get back to real football. So it was a blast today. And, just getting down the offense, getting down, my teammates' names, building the chemistry has been off to a great start. So can't wait for tomorrow.
What's the process like of trying to take in all the information? It's got to be like drinking water out of a fireplace, right? So what's that like for you these last few days?
It's just simpling everything, down to a T, starting from the foundation up. Really getting down the formations, the motions, the personnel, the general info like cadences and just how to manage the huddle. And then you get into the concepts with, Coach O'Connell, Coach Phillips, Coach McCown, Coach Udinski. We did a great job, going on Zoom earlier before I got here. So being able to digest it slowly, incrementally has been great. But yeah, just can't wait to keep learning and continue to grow with this offense.
JJ, you mentioned just getting back to football. I mean, how has that been? Just you had so much going on with combine, draft, all of that, and to just have that behind you now.
It's back to simplicity, a schedule every day, going out there with the guys and playing ball and just having a blast. Obviously the pre-draft process was a lot of fun, but, there's nothing like being out on the grass, throwing the ball around and, just building that camaraderie. So just the simplicity of it and, just being able to be out with the guys has been so much fun.
Simple concept today, or do they throw a lot of things at you on purpose to try to get you up to speed as quick as possible? What do they do to you?
I would say it was simple because it didn't feel like my first day. I've been going over the offense for a long time now, so being able to go out there and actually perform and execute it, that's new, but it was nothing that, was overwhelming or, too much.
How much value did you get out of the work you did with them in private workout before the draft, and could you carry any of that over into what you've done since?
For sure, a lot of value because, they have specific footwork that they want all the quarterbacks to do, and just being introduced to that early on has been huge because, right from the get-go, once they drafted me, that's the footwork I started doing. Same thing with the concepts, a lot of familiar concepts, going back all the way to the formal interview at the Combine. So having those, opportunities to learn early on has been huge.
What's the process of patience with yourself as well, though? Because it's different concepts mentally, it's footwork. Like, as a competitor yourself, do you have to rein yourself in at times to be patient and not try and do too much at once?
Yes, for sure. I've fell victim to the paralysis by overanalysis before, where you just study way too much and then your short-term memory gets all jogged up and you're not able to perform when you're asked of. So I'm taking it slow, incrementally, and, they're doing a great job of just making that process go as smoothly as possible.
Harbaugh coach you personally a lot, like on the mechanics, or was he more a CEO overseeing everybody?
He did both. He was definitely more of the CEO, but he always added little nuggets of wisdom on whether it's technique, just thought processes behind plays and defenses. So it was a little bit of both.
I think you've spoken about how you want to be a sponge around Kevin O'Connell, especially being a former quarterback, and you had a lot of talks with him. But now to get one-on-one, to be in a situation like this, not only in the rooms but also on the field, what has been like the first thing that you've really enjoyed physically doing this right now?
It's been a dream, overall, just being able to get that coaching. But I'd say it's just all the fundamentals, all the information on the fundamentals has been huge, and everything that he's been delivering to me today and early as far back as the workout has just been something that I see the impact, I see the changes as I'm taking those coaching points. But not just Coach O'Connell, Coach McCown, Coach Udinski, Coach Phillips, they're all just giving the same message, which is very easy to comprehend, retain, and it's been a lot of fun doing it.
Kind of said, new guys come in here and think they're in shape, but then there's NFL shape. How far away would you assess you are from being in NFL shape?
Oh, I'm in NFL shape 2 weeks before today. Yeah, I was, staying ready, so I didn't have to get ready. It helps being a quarterback. We got, 5-step drops. That's about the most we'll get out of it. But, yeah, I'm in shape for sure. Yeah.
JJ, what can you take away from Josh McCown's experience? He obviously played a really long time in the league. How does that help him teach you?
It helps so much because he has, like you said, that experience, those NFL scars, if you were to say. But it's just him, like we had a play where, ripping a field 8-yard stop, and that's a far throw. And he's just talking about, his process going through it and then going back to his mistake that he made against Aqib Talib and chasing him down to the end zone. So it's like learning from his mistakes, and he's so vocal about it, and it's just invaluable, and I really appreciate it.
Coming out here, were you nervous today?
I was more anxious than anything. You're just waiting so long to get back to real football again, and then being in this league, it's a dream come true as a kid, and being able to just be out there with the guys and really just live your dream has been truly special. So I was just trying to be present, take in the moment, and had so much fun out there today.
Change with the vets at all next week, or like when the vets start to come in, does that change a little bit as far as nerves go, or pretty much the same?
I'd say it's pretty much the same. I'm a process-oriented guy, so I'm not worried about, what's around me. I'm just going to focus on, what I'm doing each and every day and each and every play.
How do you simplify things for yourself? Do you have any tricks, how to calm yourself down, make sure that you don't get ahead of yourself?
I would say my only trick is just trying to stay in the present moment as much as possible and not let my mind take me to all these places that, people could imagine it would go. Just really focus on, the here and now. Your head is where your butt is, and just focus on that, and the simplicity kind of is a byproduct of it.
Give us your first ever interception breakdown for what happened out there?
Yeah, it's actually funny because KJ and I were talking a little smack earlier, and I got to stop talking smack because it always turns out, they win at the end. But I'd say, it was the splits were a little messed up. I obviously take full credit for the outcome of the play, but just reading it outside in, felt like I could fit it in there and force it, but at this level, they're a lot faster, a lot longer, and it's great to learn now before the vets get here. And hopefully, won't be in that situation anytime soon.
Is that why he was pointing at you?
Yeah. We had a little competition going on with the 16 reps of Skelly, and it was just, if I have 3 or less balls on the ground, they're going to run gassers. 4 or more, I run gassers. So if you guys saw, I was out there running.
NBA fan?
Yes, huge NBA fan, converted Wolves fan, that's for sure. I love everything that they're doing. They play well as a team. Obviously they're super athletic and super talented, but, I'm actually going to the game Sunday, so I'm extremely excited for that and extremely excited to see them, tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, sorry, yesterday's game didn't work out for JJ McCarthy, but things were working out for him on the field on Friday. Also, chatting with members of the media, Dallas Turner. Here he is.
School. How everybody doing?
Get out on the field and have the draft and everything behind you.
I mean, it was definitely a good feeling, being out here, with a good group of guys. We got a real good rookie class here. A lot of good energy, and we working off each other.
When it comes to the defense that you came from Alabama, the NFL elements there, how much different is it? What's your first impression of how much different?
It's actually crazy because in the first defensive meeting, it was Coach Flores kind of orchestrated how the same rules and regulations and the day one base stuff, it kind of was the same in college. How we're one team, one defense, all about the ball, all about tackling and being physical and playing fast. It's just a lot of the same stuff that I was kind of used to in college. So it's kind of it's a very good resemblance between the two. So yeah.
How's it been kind of just getting to know B-Flow and his intensity?
I mean, you can tell that he doesn't play no games for sure. That he's definitely all about business, handling business. I'm about the same thing too. So the energy is just colliding, and it's very good energy for sure. I'm willing to be a sponge and learn whatever I can from him and all the coaches.
Everything about Will Anderson, just talking to him about the first part of his career.
I mean, me and Will always been in touch, but everything he told me, it was just more of like he was kind of like boosting my head up, like you're prepared for this, like like we prepared for this in college, and and just being out here is just a blessing, like just to know that the hard work got put off, me and him are now in the same same league, but different teams, but yeah, it's definitely a good feeling.
Sometimes they got to protect you guys from yourselves because you want to come out here, go full bore. How is that balance for you, where you want to just dive in, right?
Yeah.
Like you gotta be smart.
It's kind of more of like a. You ever seen one of the little kids like in public and their mom has like the backpack leash on them? It's kind of like that. So like the kid want to go out there and run, play, do all this stuff. But the mom, nope, come back over here. So it's kind of like easing us into it. But once everybody get here, we're gonna be rocking. So yeah.
What's the first impression of Minnesota for you?
It's definitely different for sure. Last night, I was sitting in the hotel room. I was just kind of just thinking about like where I am right now. And so I'm looking at the map, looking at the bordering states, and I never would imagine that I would ever be up here. But I'm here now. Ready to work. Happy to be here. I'm ready to see what Minnesota had to offer. So yeah.
How did you kind of spend your time between getting drafted and then getting up here for rookie minicamp?
Honestly, it was a mixture of working out and and playing video games. So it was definitely a bunch of free time for sure. But after handling the business, a lot of downtime and stuff like that. But really just spending them last couple of days with friends and family, in Tuscaloosa and Miami back home. So it was just just chilling for real. But we're still grinding at the end of the day. So yeah.
What's the game, 2K?
I play Madden all day. That's the only game I play, either Madden or Call of Duty. So, you want to play? All right. I'll get that game retired.
Last Friday, after a first day of rookie camp with he's JJ and DT, and this is 9 to noon.
Bites. And it's brought to you by Thousand Hills Lifetime Grazed Grass-Fed Beef. Terrific partners, by the way, and supporters of Dinkytown Athletics. Elite meat for the athlete. Think about that. When you're shopping Thousand Hills, supporting kids staying local. Love that idea. ThousandHillsLifetimeGrazed.com. I kind of want to start and build off of last segment. It was cool. Those interviews taking place on Friday afternoon. Got to chat a bit about it during my Saturday show with Alec Lewis of The Athletic, but I know that you were on site as well, PA, and I'll just kind of put it on a tee and you hit it wherever you want to. What'd you see from JJ and what'd you see from Friday in the minicamp?
Well, FIRA, Fairness and Rookie Camp Act. When you see what Percy Harvin did in 2009 in rookie camp, and then it segues to minicamp against the veterans, and he was unstoppable. And forget rookie camp for a second, when Brett Favre was the quarterback here, and I would watch him in practice and then learn from others the time he puts in unique fashion to execute his toil. It's almost like every quarterback you see after that, it's kind of like, wow, man, well, it ain't like that. It ain't like that. It ain't like that. Ruins it a little bit. The Diggs year, 2015, Diggs and Waynes in rookie camp, and Diggs just killing the first-round pick Trey Waynes. Those situations are antithetical to most rookie camps. Like last year, Ivan Pace Jr., when I was watching the ballyhooed linebacker undrafted from Cincinnati at rookie camp, I'm like, okay. I just didn't see anything that jumped out. I'm like, okay. Then minicamp, you saw some different things. Training camp preseason, you saw everything, and my man earned himself a starting job. So things morph quickly when they're this young, and rookie camp just had to be a whirlwind of fun for JJ McCarthy, because it's, when I say whirlwind of fun, we have that pick six Friday to an undrafted linebacker, and he's learning the plays. And O'Connell analyzes his feet, every single drop back. You can just, the last time a head coach in the NFL cared that much about feet, his name was Rex Ryan.
I always love that
one. I'm glad you mentioned it, because even it was a talker. Remember that audio we played? He was at a church-related bit. There was a Q&A, talked about footwork, things that he can see on film that he knows how to fix.
Yep.
JJ himself mentioned it in that presser I played last segment, where how long have you had the playbook? He's been doing it a while since I got drafted. Private workout here, combine interviews there. And it was about the feet, and they want their feet to look a certain way, do certain things. Mm-hmm. Obviously, a massive emphasis from KO.
And it's if you believe, okay, in the NFL, the drops, you have, okay, there's the snap, then you have drops that go 3, 5, or 7 steps.
Yeah.
Now, whether it's out of the pistol formation at Michigan, under center, or shotgun specifically, JJ would turn the 3, 5, and 7 into 2, 4, and 6. So it was baby step, fire. And 2, 4, and 6, I mean, that generally isn't how it works at this level. So that all involves feet. So KOC's working on his feet with stuff like that. But you could tell it was a joyous occasion for the kid. I mean, he ain't tripping over the pick 6. And you can just tell the guy who turned 21 4 months ago, there's a lot of work to do and a lot of improvement that'll be required, but he's really embracing the fun and the honor of the opportunity. And that's just a natural gift. Not everybody has, and he has it. Dallas Turner is a powerful man. He gets the arm into the chest of an offensive lineman and dictates tempo. So I saw some things on Friday that led me to watching back some of his YouTube highlights when I got back Friday to the spot, and that the just think the punch, the arm punch,
yeah,
and you getting that in on the offensive tackle or the offensive lineman before the offensive lineman gets his hands on you. All right, that's very important for somebody who plays this position, and it's natural with him. And that arm, man, it punches into the sternum or into the midsection of an offensive lineman, so Dallas can dictate the tempo. He's beastly and still is growing. When I say beastly, you just look at his frame, man. He just looks like he belongs. And it's going to be so much fun watching him grow. Kyrie Jackson, now that I've seen him in person, the corner looks like he was made in a lab with those long arms. I mean, you talk about a picture-perfect physique that adds up with all the metrics and everything to play the position. But, over the course of time, we've seen a fair amount of corners who were built like that.
Yeah.
So, like with Kyrie Jackson, he looks like Tariq Woolen with the Seattle Seahawks, but hopefully doesn't play like Joejuan Williams.
I always love that one.
I mean, Joejuan was one, who was here for a minute and has that physique. You look at Joejuan Williams and you're like, whoa, if he can play arms from Maui to Maine, that's another well-built corner whose career never has taken off.
I think we still have him, don't we? He's somewhere lurking.
The kicker is the bomb, but it's only rookie camp. Will Reichard, the FBS all-time leading scorer. I'm digging his swing. And it caused me to look low-key, something that we may share tomorrow, about the hit rate on drafted kickers. All right. And I heard you a couple of Fridays ago with 5-2 when I had a vocal maintenance day, reminding us that Sebastian Janikowski was taken 17th overall in a draft back in the day. That's obviously not the standard, but if you get 20 years out of him or whatever they got out of him.
Would you say that's worth it?
I mean, it's hard to argue. I mean, it's really difficult to argue. Granted, he was selected in the first round, but his career and the way he changed the games with his kickoffs, because his directional kicking, as good as you'll ever see from anybody in the history of the NFL. I'm talking about kickoffs.
Yeah.
So beloved Seabass, I mean, that kind of made sense, but like on the other side of it, Roberto Aguayo, drafted 47th overall by Tampa Bay in 2016. Well, that was a disaster. And there are some others that with which 9 to Noon can have some fun with drafted kickers over the years, and we may do that tomorrow. But around the corner, News du Nord, led by producer then Kevin Lynch, analyzes the Wolves, assumedly for profit, for Bally Sports North. He'll be in the 651 Carpets Plus studios about 20 minutes from now.
News to Nord, 9 to noon, brought to you by The Casino at Canterbury Park, CanterburyPark.com. This is the week, or more I should say, the weekend, where live racing lifts off for 2024 at Canterbury Park. So check out the racing calendar, which days are on, which days are off, which is the best day for you to bring your family out. It's an absolute party all summer, and it starts this weekend in earnest. Get to CanterburyPark.com. The Minnesota Timberwolves, we are aware that they lost last night, and that now it is after 115-107, the final. Series is locked in, 2-2. Here's some audio from Finch, who will be kicking off 9 to noon tomorrow morning.
Just being able to kind of impact the ball. It's coming over these screens. There's a lot of separation. Guys they're in a comfortable rhythm, so we got to change a few things up and try to stop them from getting their engine revving so high right now.
Yeah, Nuggets in a comfortable rhythm. Finch in an uncomfortable spot as he lifted off of that chair and was barking at the referee last night because it appeared as though, I think, because I got a couple of text messages, so it reminded me of a moment. He was yelling at a ref after, I think, Rudy gets a foul right after Rudy had just elbowed the bleep out of Rudy. Jokic had elbowed the bleep out of Rudy, and there was no call. So there was some frustration maybe in the moment.
And that's when
the head coach.
And that's when the Rube felt he got out of his chair.
I think it was. That's what I saw from a couple of text messages.
I can't remember the circumstances, but I believe said listener is right, because Chris was pointing to just, and I'm a mile away, but you call that, but then down here, you're not calling the same thing.
Exactly.
He was out of his chair, though.
Yeah, correct. This was let me see. Finch stood up and screaming at official about an offensive foul on Cat, pointing out that Joker, and then in all caps, does the exact same thing on every single bleeping possession. So, what about Cat, speaking of which? Bad shooting night for him. Here he is.
I just wanted to continue to take shots that I was given, continue to be aggressive, put pressure on the defense. If things weren't falling today, I take responsibility for that. I know I put the work in, so I feel good about the work I put in. It's shown a lot of this playoffs. Obviously, it's unfortunate on Mother's Day I had a shooting performance like that, but it's the way the game goes. It's not a fun game sometimes, but it definitely has a great reward. So I'm excited to go back out there in 2 days and find ourselves hopefully on the right side.
I have to admit, I don't know if I trust it, but I believe when I hear Ant.
Yeah.
I definitely trust when I hear Anthony say we're chilling. This is long series, defending champs. I'm gonna trust Cat. I'm gonna trust Carl in that spot as he kind of brushes off the 5 of 18 and the hideous shooting start to the game.
Yeah.
I'm gonna trust him that Tuesday night. I think it's better. It absolutely needs to be from the 1A, as you kind of labeled it, and that's got to be Carl,
right,
moving forward in the series.
Or maybe the 1A is the defense. Maybe it's Anthony, then the defense, and then whatever offense flows off the defense.
Yeah.
Because for the champions, Nikola Jokic, 1, Murray, absolute 1A.
Yep.
So they have the cliched Batman and Robin. But for the Timberwolves, it's last night it was Batman and Rob-um.
I always love that one.
Because trying to get that 1A going, man, last night, and so that's why if Aaron Gordon continues to score the way he's scoring, we just in so much trouble.
Late stages of the fourth, by the way, when Jokic and Jamal it's a 2-man game, and they're just working off of.
Oh.
That's why they're so clutch.
Yeah.
I don't know how you stop that, and we were in a spot where we needed every single stop.
Yep.
But I don't know how you beat that when that tandem is working off of each other so well like they were last night.
And when they work off each other, and then you switch and you slide, and your on-ball defense is terrific, and then switch good, and they just keep whipping it around. Yeah. Their ball sharing last night, and it was the fourth quarter. They were shooting in front of the Wolves bench, and I think Christian Brown, the former Jayhawk, ended up hitting the 3, and he was wide open. It's the swiftness and the alacrity and the quickness with which they were moving the ball last night was just super, super impressive.
Yeah, Jokic getting doubled and then finds Gordon.
Yes.
How did you see that?
I know.
It feels impossible. Yep. And the Serbian dude makes it look easy every night.
And I'll bring this up with Lynchy when he comes in studio here shortly. But I was getting mad at Gobert for a second when the Nuggets were shooting in front of their bench because he just wasn't jumping. Yeah. He wasn't jumping to change shots. But the elite basketball mind to my right, who I was sitting next to, he pointed out to me again. I mean, you come to a basketball game and you end up, learning the handbook of how to play basketball from James Naismith. But my guy was on his game last night, the bespectacled one sitting to the right of me, because he alerted me or reminded me, well, he's not jumping because he also needs to pay attention to the Aaron Gordon alley-oop.
Yeah.
I'm like, box. That's right. And I'm like, was Gordon sneaking down from three? He goes, yeah, both times. Box! Box!
Elsewhere in the NBA, the Pacers have tied the series up 2-2 themselves. They're beating a hobbled. I mean, the Knicks, they might just not have enough bodies to put on the court. 121-89.
No OG Anunoby is a major. It's worse than not having Julius Randle because Anunoby plays defense. And your guy Brunson, I mean, if he's wearing down, he has a right to wear down.
Yeah.
And that's Team Tibbs. I mean, Tibbs will squeeze every bit of metaphorical blood out of the symbolic turnip. But sooner or later, it has an expiration date. That may have happened with Jalen.
It may have. Celtics and Cavs, they're tonight at 6 o'clock. They're in Cleveland. Boston up 2-1 in that series. Mavericks, they're up 2-1 in the series. Game 4 tonight in Dallas. Wow. So looking forward to that. On the hockey side of things, Rangers with a chance to close the series tonight. They're up 3-1 on the Hurricanes. Avs need to tie up this series. They're down 2-1 to Dallas, but they are in the Mile High Ball Arena tonight. That's at 8:30. Boston and Florida tomorrow night. No Brad Marchand. Apparently he took an awful hit from Sam Bennett. I didn't see the hit, but everyone's annoyed with it. They're also super mad that Florida had a goal allowed that they should not have had allowed. So there's some frustration and drama in that one, but Florida can close out the Bruins. And then Edmonton needs to tie up. They're down 2-1 to Vancouver. Both those games tomorrow evening.
The Couve at the Oil. When I got home from the game last night, it was late-ish second period. Holy cow, what a good hockey game that was. I mean, Vancouver is bringing it against the Edmonton Oilers, which triggered a text message to me earlier in the show from Johnny the Mouse Mickelson, captain of the 83 Wayzata Club hockey team, most formidable club hockey team in the history of club hockey in the state of hockey, and Mouse wore the C. And he wrote, hey, it's off the Wolves vibe. Hey, it's tough for a road team to go into a hostile environment, one that has been begging for a successful playoff run for years. But the Vancouver Canucks were able to get it done with the help of Burnsville native Brock Besser and a hat trick.
I always love that one.
Double B scored the first 3 goals of the game. Burnsville, go crazy. That was a fun game last night.
Finally, wrapping up News to Nord, brought to you by The Casino at Canterbury Park. We have the last couple of segments talked a bit about rookie camp. And just one question. I kind of floated it to Alec Lewis on Saturday. Yeah. And I'll float it to you now because you mentioned there's a lot to go, a lot to learn for JJ McCarthy.
Yeah.
I'm curious, how much does he initially out of the gates, does he get looked at as an instant leader? If that makes sense, where he's got learning curve of offense, all of those things, 21 years old, super young kid. It's known by everybody he was drafted 10th overall, walks in the building, you have Sam Darnold, you have Nick Mullins, etc. How much does he instantly get platformed as a leader of this team, knowing that he is the long game plan at that spot?
I'd say 0. I mean, when I say 0, I don't mean it with disrespect.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're not playing, if you're not the starting quarterback. So this plays off Harrison Phillips, defensive tackle, who was on NFL Network last week, and he was asked about Kirk Cousins, and he's like, paraphrasing the leadership. We have lost a significant piece of leadership within the locker room.
Yep.
In that Kirk galvanized people, and and that's true. I mean, Kirk, despite what some others who have been here over the years feel, Kirk is a born leader, very comfortable in the huddle, very comfortable taking the complicated and making it simplistic for those attempting to learn the offense and stuff like that. So that is something that's going to need to be filled, but it organically will fill itself. It's not, all right, Aaron Jones, you're here.
Yeah.
You're the leader. You're the one that has to talk to everybody up and down the side of this. So
it's not like it's on the to-do list of sorts. Right?
Exactly. It organically develops on its own. But for McCarthy, you don't get taken where he got taken. You don't win the games he won. You don't lead the offense the way he has unless you get in that huddle and it's like, get in here. I got one thing to say. And they follow. So I would venture a guess that naturally is a gift of his once he starts putting some reps on the field so that people, who need to see before they can believe, they will see it and then they will believe when he preaches it to them in the huddle or in the meeting rooms, and that naturally that inherently is leadership.
I like that.
But I can't possibly see, how it would be here now. When honestly, he's behind Darnold, he's behind Mullins, behind Hall, until things change.
And you mentioned the Harrison Phillips bit, and that's kind of why I was going, because kind of just breaking it down, again, mentioning Kirk, I was thinking about Kirk from the standpoint, it took him a year to really get a full grasp of that offense as it was. Into year 2 last season, it was crispy, and then he gets hurt and all of that. So it's like the learning curve and the mountain that JJ needs to climb.
Yeah.
It gets back into that expectations thing. So whether it was Harrison Phillips talking about the loss of a leader and then what you expect from the 21-year-old to step in, and I think you explained it well, kind of the organic growth of that.
Yeah.
He's got so much to learn, so much to do. I can't imagine what that playbook looks like from his eyes right now, swimming in it, trying to memorize as much as he can. Kid's got a lot to do.
And so does Caleb Williams, who made his debut with the Bears. And, from reports and everything, and maybe as the week moves on, we'll find some audio from some players in other places and like how their rookie camps went. I'm not going to share exactly how Jordan Addison put it when I saw him Friday at Vikings rookie camp. Because it's nobody else's business to aggregate. I'll share with you off air. I asked him, first time I've ever asked him about Caleb Williams, because he played with him, obviously, at USC. Yeah. And, whoa, hey. It's like, it's real deal Holyfield is the way I would explain it. And the big smile on his face because he and Caleb are close. And then I asked him about Darnold. And perhaps tomorrow I'll share some things that he said about Sam Darnold. It's 11 o'clock. Let's go find Kevin Lynch, chat about this Howl as we continue on FM 100.3 KFAN.